Shadé and today I'm going to be filming a video, and it is an advice video. Even I grew so much from these things, and I would like to share with you the 20 things that I have learned by 20. I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, please make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a nice comment down below. This video is inspired by just a lot of knowledge and how I've gained a lot of experience throughout my years of living. I just turned 20 and I have learned so much throughout these 20 years. It has been such a long journey, but I'm grateful for it, and I am glad to share with you lots of my tips and all my advice, so I hope you stay tuned. And without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So the first thing that I have learned, well, not first thing, it's obviously taken a while to learn all of these things, but with experience and throughout my journey in life, I have realized that it is okay to cry, and it doesn't make you weak, it doesn't make you less stronger than anybody. It's just a simple, yet it means so much to just be able to cry, because I used to not cry, and I feel like it takes a very strong person to cry, and it's healthy, you know, you're releasing all of your emotions, and it is a good way to let everything go and just be free and, you know, release all the tension and sadness and anger or whatever you've been feeling. It is a great way to release your emotions, and that is definitely something that I have learned throughout my teenage years, because I used to think I was a weak person for crying and that I wasn't strong, and I realized that that is not true. That is a lie. I am stronger, and I am really brave to release those emotions, and so is everybody, because crying is an emotion and we were given it. So I do think it is 100% okay to cry. So the next thing that I have written down here in my journal is having friends. And a lot of the time when I was younger, I did not have friends. I was very lonely in my primary school years. I had nobody, and not many people wanted to be my friend, and I had to learn to, you know, be okay with not having many people around and having a very, you know, I don't want to say small circle, because honey, I didn't even have a triangle. So, you know, it was just it took me a long time to realize that I do not need friends for validation, and I do not need to be liked. People aren't going to like me in this life, and some people are going to like me, and I have to accept that. So, you know, that was something I had to learn at a very young age, just to, you know, be okay with not having friends. And, you know, friends come along and they go, and that is okay, and I have learned that. That is why I have put it in my video. But yes, you do not need friends in life. Friends are a plus, it's bonus, they're great to have, but you do not need them in order to, you can be okay. And that is also following into my next tip, which is obviously the third thing I've learned, which is it is okay to be alone. We do not constantly need people for validation, for comfort. I'm not saying it's we do not need people. It is lovely to have people around. I love people. I do consider myself a people person, but we don't always need to have people around us 24/7. It is okay to be by yourself and enjoy your own company and delve into the things that you love to do without being around anybody. Your own company should fulfill you, and I have learned that my own company brings me such joy, and I'm glad I have myself, because I learned to love myself and to really enjoy being around myself. Now moving on to my fourth tip. Number 4 is to value yourself and, you know, treat yourself with kindness. Be nice to your heart and yourself, and just make sure you're around people that are treating you with kindness and that value you, because it is very important that you are, you know, analyzing who you're around and what company you keep. That is very important, and it is a very important lesson in life to value yourself and don't settle for less. Don't let people treat you any way, because As my granddad said, if you lie on the floor, people will walk over you. And that is something that I've always learned to keep with me throughout my years. IT. Okay, the fifth thing that I've learned is to make use of your time. I think it is really important to find out hobbies that you love, especially when you're on your own. Figure out things that you like to do. I would recommend writing a list of things that you want to do. For me, I've always wanted to learn how to knit and crochet, and so that is something in 2023 that I'm going to definitely take part in and live my dreams of wanting to know how to knit, because that is something I've always wanted to do. Yes, to get back to what I was saying is, yes, make sure you know, like, you have work or you have college, but also make sure you have things for your fun and leisure, because you don't want to get into this circle of just doing work and just doing college or school or assignments or exams or tests or whatever you are focused on. It is important to have a hobby. So make use of your time, and definitely don't waste it on people that aren't going to be there for you, and, you know, obviously do what you want to do. That is number 5, because that is something I have had to learn, and I've learned. I'm grateful to have learned it, so hopefully this advice can help somebody out there. So my next tip is to stand up for yourself, and always try and, you know, I don't know how to describe this, but stand up for yourself and do not hide your voice. That is something that I've learned as a child, because I was very quiet in school because I didn't have many friends and I was very different from all the other kids. So I had to learn how to, this especially hit me in my teenage years, because I was very quiet in secondary school as well. I didn't want people to think I was weird, I didn't want to express myself, but don't stay in the shadows, you know, go out into the light and definitely put yourself out there. It is very important to use your voice to speak up and, you know, describe how you feel to others. Don't be shy, don't be afraid to, you know, express yourself because you have a fear of being judged. Definitely make use of your voice and stand up and shine, because you got this. I gotta finish this before the lighting gets dark, because I'm currently using daylight. But it's getting darker, so I have to be mindful of that. My next tip is to don't waste your time on people that don't reciprocate the same energy as you. If you are giving your all to someone and they're not reciprocating it, let them go, because they do not appreciate you and they're not giving you the same energy. That is super important. It could be friendships, relationships, family members, colleagues, anybody. If you're giving your energy, it's just going to drain you if they're not giving you back the same. And that is something that I've had to learn, and I'm still learning it, because I tend to give my all and then it does not end up how I thought it would be, especially in, you know, friendships or relationships. That is just something I've had to learn, and I am so grateful to have learned that and to carry it on in my future, just to not waste my time on people that aren't giving me what I need. And I, you know, think that is super important to learn and to definitely practice what I preach here, because I don't need that in my life. I don't need to waste my time on people that do not value me and give me the same energy that I'm giving them. I'm not sure what tip I'm on, but I'm just gonna keep going until I get to the last tip, because I feel like I have 20. But the next tip I have here is to create a vision board of where you see yourself in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. It could be a year, I don't know. If you're someone that makes goals that big and far in the future, do it. I feel like it is so important to create a goal for yourself. One of my personal goals was to continue doing YouTube, because I started my channel at 14 and I'm 20 and I really want to do it. YouTube has always been my passion and I love making videos, so I'm doing it. And I think it is so important to create a vision board and write down a list of goals that you want to achieve, whether it's be in the week or tomorrow or any day or any week. definitely create a vision board and, you know, take off the goals. And I genuinely feel it will make you happier just to have something completed, and you'll feel a great sense of accomplishment when you do this, because it shows that you are truly caring for yourself and loving yourself because you truly want to do those things. So that is a really good tip that I have learned, and I feel like I'm always going to carry that with me because I do journal throughout my day or days, and it is very important that I'm ticking off goals that I want to achieve. So my next tip is to not feel guilty for cutting people out of your life and letting go of people that are only meant to be in your life for a season, not a year. So I think that is a very important tip to learn, because a lot of us try and hold on to people, and I know I tend to try and hold on to people that I feel I'm not ready to let them go yet, but there's such an art of letting go, and a lot of us have to learn it in life. Even if it makes you sad, or it makes you, you know, even no matter how long it takes, you will always find that sense of relief, and you will find happiness again. It takes a lot to let someone go, whether it be a friend or, you know, a relationship or even a family member. I do feel it's really important to put yourself first, and if you feel like there is someone that you don't think they're bringing any benefits into your life, or, you know, the relationship isn't beneficial to you, I think that is the time to let someone go and, you know, watch yourself flourish, because there's a time and a place for everything, and there's also a time and where you need to let people go. So that is a super important tip that I have learned. My next tip is to not keep bringing your past into your present. If there's certain things that are keep popping up in your present and into your future, and you do not want them to, I think it is important, this ties also into letting things go, letting people go, is to cut off all, maybe it's items, or maybe it's, you know, social media, or maybe it's pictures, or maybe it's certain things that the person got you. I feel like it is important to let them go, you know, whether it's taking a certain person off of social media. I think it's really important to get rid of all of the memories and all of the, how do I say, baggage, because it is important to start new, start fresh. It is hard to let go, I know, but it is important to, you know, continue on with your life and just grow, because if you keep having things that are in your present that are reminding you of your past, or, you know, you're thinking, oh, this is like something that maybe my ex-boyfriend got me, or my ex-girlfriend got me, I think all of those things, you should let them go, because they'll only make you, they're just constant reminders. And if you really want to move on with your life and, you know, grow, you have to let those things go, you know, say goodbye to the past and hello to a new bright future, because you deserve it. Now this also ties in with creating self-time for yourself, and creating a space for yourself to do the things that you love. I also want to bring it into my next tip, which is, why did my mind go blank? Oh yes, put yourself first. I don't know if I said this already, but it is super important to prioritize yourself, your feelings, your life, because you come first, and it is super important to always, you know, put yourself before anybody else. It may sound selfish, but I mean it in a way of, you could be around people and you can feel super lonely and super left out and super, like, not in your place. You don't feel like you're in, you know, the right forte, or like you don't feel like you're in your space. And I think it is super important to, you know, separate yourself from that. Even if you just have to walk away, put yourself first, because you need to love yourself, and you came into this earth alone and you're gonna leave alone. So it is super important that you make sure you're doing what you love in your life, because no one else is going to do it for you. You have to make sure you're doing what you love and you're living your dreams. That is that tip. So my next next tip is to journal. I know it sounds so cliche, but it's super important to write down all of your feelings, whether it's just on a piece of paper. You don't necessarily have to have a journal, but this is actually my old journal that I wrote down 18. I wrote 18 things that I learned by 18. So I'm currently going back over the advice that I had written down and adding to it, but I think it's super important to journal because it helps give you a sense of release, and I feel like it is just so refreshing to write down all of your feelings in a book. And you know, even if you want, you can look back over what you've written and you can be like, oh, I felt like that then, or I was feeling so happy in that moment. I think it's super important, and it just gives me a sense of, I don't know, a wonder feeling, because I feel like I can just look back at my life through words. I've always loved writing and poetry, so it is super important that I vent my feelings down. Whether I write in a poem or a song, I will always write down how I feel, and that is something that I find great pleasure in, and I love it. So I think it's super important. So the next tip that I've learned in my 20 years is to definitely, I know you might be a super outdoor person. I'm such an outdoor person. I love being around nature and just surrounded by nature. It just gives me a sense of peace. I think it's so important to just leave your house at least once a day, even if you are such a homebody. Like, I think it's super important to just get out, breathe some fresh air, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. It's really beneficial to your mental health, and I definitely feel like it makes such a difference, especially when you've been in the house all day. Just to get out, breathe in some fresh air. Sometimes I just step out to my back garden and just take a deep breath and, you know, say some positive affirmations, because I feel like they really help and give me such a sense of peace. Yeah, that is definitely a tip I do try and participate in every day, is to just get out and just get out of my own head and just step out into the world, because we are in a world that's constantly changing, constantly evolving, and I think it's super important that we connect with it, because we are humans and we are constantly evolving and changing every day. We're never going to stay the same forever. Neither is nature or anything, so I think it's super important to just connect with that and find that inner peace, because it's a beautiful thing. My next tip that I can give to you is that your life is yours, and it's your life to do whatever you want, whether it's ride a bike or become a singer or, you know, live in a house full of cats and dogs. It is your life to do what you want, and nobody else can, you know, push you to do your dream. You just need to go for it, and I think it's so important to, you know, believe in yourself, because it all starts within. It really does, and it's something I'm still learning. I'm still learning to follow my dreams and, you know, continue to do all the things that I love, whether it's do a YouTube video or, you know, sing a song or write some music. I really do feel like it is important to own your own life and take control of your own life, because I have been in times where I've been really sad or really depressed or just unhappy, and I'm just like, sometimes I just have to get out of a rut, whether it's like I work out or I go for a walk or simple things, just go get some healthy food in the store. I literally just have to get out of the rut that I'm in order to better myself and become the person I want to be. So I think it's super important to just take control of your life, because it is yours, no one else's. You gotta take control, and you gotta do what you need to do in order to make yourself happy. That is another tip. My next advice, well, tip or advice, things I've learned, one thing that I've learned is to not be the person people want me to be. I don't want to be a people pleaser. I'm not here to please you. I wasn't put on this earth to satisfy your needs and your wants. It is my life. I'm going to be the person I'm going to be, whether it's, you know, me changing every day and developing. I'm going to be the person that I am, and I don't need to let me turn on the light. I don't need to please anybody. It is my life to do what I want. I don't need to feel bad for taking ownership of my own self. I'm me, and I cannot please everybody. I could do something that somebody loves, someone might not like it, you know, I could do something that they love and the other person might not like it, but what is important is I'm doing something that I love because I am myself. There's no other me. I need to do what makes me happy. I don't need to please anybody. I need to do what I need to do for myself, not anybody else. That is super meaningful to me, and it is something that I will always hold on to. My next thing, well, things that I've learned is to be patient, be mindful, and be grateful. Be patient for things to happen. Everything will happen in its own time and place. Be mindful of other people's feelings, your actions, and how you treat people. It is important to just take your actions into consideration, because you can act on something and it may upset somebody else, so I feel like it's very important to be mindful of the situation and how you are acting on it, because you may do something and it may hurt another person. I think it's very important to be mindful of and considerate of another person's feelings, and also to be grateful for the things that you have and the things that you have received and everything in the present. It is super important to be grateful, because even just the simple blessing of breathing and being healthy, it is so important. And I do know that a lot of us take it for granted to be healthy, but it's so important to just be grateful of everything that you have, even everything that's around you, even like, you know, your neighbor's cat, or, you know, your friend's beautiful garden that she has, or, you know, like just simple things like the sun rising and the sun going down. Beautiful things like that are super important, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to just be grateful. Just sit down and just say 10 things that you're grateful for every day, whether it's your family, your friends, or your life, or your health. Just be grateful, because a lot of people don't have those things, and a lot of people dream to live the life you are living, whether it's just, you know, your simple everyday life. A lot of people don't have fresh food or fresh water, so it is very important to be grateful. So thank you very much for watching. That pretty much sums up this whole video. I think I may have left a few things out, but if you do like my advice videos, I can definitely upload more of these videos, and I am just so happy to be making this video because I love to do YouTube and it is something that I'm very passionate about. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Shadé Dillon, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day, and I hope, or night, and I hope that you are living your best life and being free and just enjoying the simple things that life brings. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much.